new at the time. No, I wear them all the time.
Why red?
I like it.
Can you talk
Oh,
to
that
me?
George, not George Thomas. I had a few.
No.
I had a few swear words. Never mind.
No,
No,
that-
George Thomas is a peach. He's a peach. We're live, right? And you edit. Okay. No, George Thomas is cool. He and Terry Gooch run the Race Across Oregon. They do things because they're having fun. They'll have one person ride two different kinds of bikes on the same race, or two different racers riding two different kinds. And a lot of other races don't allow that. They're still having fun. And I like that. And they're nice people. So, and you can use anything that I say,
Sounds great.
even if it's a little harsh.
Well,
Ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
Lou, you're somewhat of a legend on this trip, that I'm learning anyway, hearing from different
Sounds good.
people. Tell us how long you've been involved with Race Across America, and sort of a quick synopsis of the history of your background.
This is my 26th RAAM out of 27 years. I missed 87 because they decided to do some back surgery. Started crewing in 86 and crewed. Rode 3 team RAMs for the Pack Masters as we got older, but crewed is my 23rd crew. I've had people who DNF'd, did not finish, and I've had at least one that DNF'd and came back 2 years later and finished. Very slowly, but he finished. I've crewed for Susan O'Derangelo, who won that year. Husband Lon was the crew chief. I said, yes, sir, no, sir. I was learning a lot. You do the first few years. I learned something this trip after all these years. I'm going to use it again. Okay.
Would you like to share with us what you learned?
Oh, it's so simple. A lot of riders want you to go out so much time, and how do you judge how far they're going to ride? And then RV wants to go up the road 4 hours worth. How fast are the riders going to go? And the terrain is like this, and you're looking at it, trying to figure it out, and you're guessing. Sometimes you have to move the RV twice. Don't like that because they're sleeping. Don't like that. But you could do that with it. That's good. Forgot what you asked me.
Oh, you were talking about.
The people.
And about the 15-minute thing as opposed.
Going up Sidling Hill. We were going to do miles and so forth, and Ann suggested, why don't we just do minutes? We can tell that by the clock, and we keep getting back to the minutes. And we started with 30 minutes, and then we were a little bit over, a little bit under, but we adjust back to 30 minutes on the hour, 30 minutes on the hour, and then we decided to go to 15 minutes, the steep part. You can go back and forth. Quit writing down their time that they got on and got off. Screw it. That was just so we would know how far they were going. Well, if you're going 15 minutes, you're going 15 minutes. Steep or flat. It could be going downhill. You just have to travel faster with a car. So, what a great thing to learn at my 26 RAAM. Sometimes it's better to go by the minutes or time. So, but I had this long time. And last year before, Joe Smith, we had 4 riders, and they were doing different shuttle services with bikes. All 4 bikes, number 1 bikes were on one band, and it shuttled. Whose bike is that in the middle of the night on the 4th night? What color is it? Joe Smith, our assistant crew chief, comes out with the blue tape, sticks it on those holders up there, writes Ron right on the side. Oh, what did I think of that? We don't have to remember alphabetically or position wise or whatever, and he's left-handed, so he's on the left side. No, just write it there. So simple. Sorry, a lot of RAAM is real simple stuff like that. And a lot of it's really hard and complex. So,
Yeah, especially I would think when you're so rummy, you want it simple.
Yeah,
with sleep deprivation and so on.
We get tired, and we have on our teams since '95 that have been involved, the Pack Masters and or me, but usually it's always with the Pack Masters. For the crew, we have an 8-hour sleep shift. 8-hour schedule, and most crews do not have that. And we heard of one a year ago that was getting sent to the motel by an official. They had no plan for sleep whatsoever for their crew. Suicide. No sleep, dead people. No, I'm serious.
Oh, yeah.
You're making judgments on driving, you're up 8 feet behind somebody and you're passing out. Or you bang on this, you run head on into somebody. Sorry, sleep is essential. Riders too. Riders too. The team riders get hour and a half to 2 hours. In our case, every 4 hours, every 8 hours, excuse me, and that's six hours a day spread out. And I've seen solo riders trying to get by on 2 or 3, and by the third night, if you're stopped by the side of the road to do something, and you're getting something out of your van to help them, you put your arm around them so they don't step back into traffic, because their brains are a little bit loose and they forget. They can still ride, but they just forget. And so you got to take care of them. That's what a crew does. By the way, it's nice being a crew. Riders will not make it without a crew, and the crew has no reason to be there without the riders. That's a team. That's a team.
What about this specific race? How does it rank among the races that you've done previously?
It was more stressful getting in because I've had some medical problems of my own that have. It's a hip problem, but it interfered with my brain. And don't ask me; there's not a direct connection. But it was harder, and there were a couple things that didn't get done. But you know what? We didn't miss them. Maybe I was wasting my time all these years on some things. It was difficult. Our average age of our crew is 60. Our riders average, we have 60, 78-year-olds, 79, and 2 80s. We have a mature crew. There's only 3 that had not crewed before out of 17. I love that. It's like the pilot that landed in the river, Hudson River, and everybody walked out on their wings. I want an old pilot. Don't give me a new kid. We want a mature crew with experience. Crew chief isn't around to make a decision. They can make it.
I noticed there were quite a few young teams that dropped out early. Why do you suppose that was?
Couple causes that have come to mind. One, the riders rode too hard early on. It's a 3,000-mile race. Teams are solo. It's 3,000 miles, and you can burn yourself out in the first day. There are a couple of people I know that took third year to get out of the state of California because they went too hard, solo riders. Okay, no names. And the other thing is that the crew screws them over because nobody's told the crew how to do anything. Excuse me, you don't walk in off the street? Oh, I can crew RAAM. What do you do, hand water bottles out the window? Yeah, there's always stuff. And if nobody has a plan, that doesn't get done. What? Oh, I'm supposed to have a water bottle for you? So it takes some training. And some of you do on paper in advance, some of you do talking, and some of you do watching while they're in your van.
How many RAAMs are in your future?
Bad time to ask. No, it's been real tiring. For 10 years now, my brother-in-law happens to drive a very good RV for RAAM because he has to find a place to stop to get an RV off the road, and 2 other vehicles, and he's got a knack. He and I have talked for 10 years at odd times, like, this is going to be our last year, but we keep coming back. So, I don't know about my last RAAM. I know this is my last RAAM because it's done. We're not home yet, and some of us got 3,500 miles to go to get home. And I know you guys but you can get to fly. Yeah, we got an RV and one of the bike van, have to drive back home to California. And then we really clean up, because right now we've been dumping stuff in those 2 vehicles, because they're going to be in my garage, the stuff, when we get back. It's okay. I got time.
Now, how does this, what was the favorite part of this particular race? And then, of course, the converse, what was the lowest point of this race for you?
I always like to start. I think it's spectacular. Here are these old guys in our case, but there are others, the solos and the teams and the kid team that came in front of us. God, somebody as young as 13. It takes 6 of those 13-year-olds to match one of our riders in age. This start is always exciting because everybody's really wired up, but they haven't ridden yet. Okay, and the finish is exciting because of all the tiring and troubling little things, big things that go wrong. We're done, and we did it well, and that makes you feel good. And I didn't pedal a bit, and I feel really good. It's a team effort, folks. It's a team effort, and not everybody appreciates that. It ain't just the riders. They ain't making it without a team. And again, no riders don't need a team. So, team effort. High points, seeing the guy who fell the first day at mile 15 smashed his left hip, continued on. We had to help him on and off his bicycle from then on every single time. And he fell over at least once by himself. Every single time we had to catch him when he stopped, help him get off the bike, get on. And he rode very well while he was riding. He just couldn't walk very well, and he couldn't get his leg over the bike. That makes me feel good. That's guts. He's an ex-Navy pilot too. So, but that I appreciate. I appreciate it.
And your low point?
Yeah. Oh, any given night at 3 a.m. No, that's not good. Low point was probably the week before. I never feel ready. I'm a nervous worrywart, and I'm a nag. And it turned out we were very close to being ready. A couple of little minor things that didn't get done, and guess what? We got through them. But that was my low point. It was before RAAM, and a week before, because I'm a nervous guy. And obviously wired sometimes. That's what I've been told. I don't know why.
Do you drink coffee?
On occasion, yeah. I didn't drink much this time, but I have. I drink coffee. That doesn't have anything to do with being nervous or wired up. No.
You don't
No.
need it.
I don't need coffee. The coffee makers need me. No, I drink coffee, but I don't drink 3 cups a day.
And are you this wired ordinarily, or just during RAAM?
No, there's some other times, but most of the time I'm not as wired up. I'm a crew chief, and that person is responsible for basically the thing, because the riders just want to, and I tell them too, shut up and ride. That's all. The crew's taking care of you. Just pedal. You can ask for things over it, but just ride. So the crew works, and I worry about that, make sure that the crew is ready to do it, and they've got to take care of each other. We got to have food. We got to have sleep. We got to have water. We got to have nutrition. Crew too. So I didn't. Anyway, during the race, you have ups and downs. You'll have it on an hourly basis or on a daily basis, and there's no schedule. Sometimes you just feel bad. Sometimes you feel good. Something good. Seeing Lou climb, the guy that crashed, that made me feel good. And remember, everybody on that team, all the riders are older guys. They all used to be faster. By the way, our target was 10 days, and we finished in 9 days, 6 hours, and 50 minutes. Nobody even close to our age category, this is open category, our ages of those 4 riders has ever even tried RAAM. We were 1 year away from being an 80 category, which sounds better than really old, because it's another number. Nobody's ever even tried it. That made us all feel good. Made us all feel good. And we were aiming for 10 days. We get 9 days, 6 hours. That's good. That's good. So
Well,
we're
I'm
happy.
going to ask you one last question, but before I do that,
Ask me the second to the last question.
I just want to see if there was anything else that you wanted to talk about, specific to this race, or just things in general, thoughts in general.
Well, to quote Charles, Chris Stouffer, you meet somebody, you race with them, and then you see them again, you race with them, and then you talk to them, and after a while, it's not just a team that gets together, riders or a crew, but it's friends. And we've had, different pack masters come in, and one guy couldn't come. He would have got us into the category, but he got in a horrible crash and hasn't recovered. He couldn't even crew. But you get to be friends. And you maybe only do this one race a year, but you're friends, and you stay friends. Almost all the time. Be real, almost all the time.
Yeah, sometimes you have to drop crew members.
That has happened. Happened this year. Hurt. Did.
Sure.
Safety. And that's my job. As Ronnie Bell keeps telling me, that's why I got paid the big money. Yeah. By the way, you win your age category or your category or whatever, or you win outright, this is what you get. A little bronze thing that says you're an official finisher, but they do give you a ribbon so you can wear it around your neck. So you got to want it, because it's all cash outflow. And people giving you 2 weeks of their lives. We had 13 crew and 4 riders. We had 14. We had 13 crew and 4 riders. We all gave each other 2 weeks of our lives. A couple, 3 days at the start, a couple days here at the end, and 9 days on the road. So that is a cohesive thing. It's not quite like war. Come on. Don't even think about it. You know, where you get your buddies and that kind of thing. It's not. It is similar, but not the same. That's life and death. This is life and death. Friend of mine on RAAM. Let that one go.
What would you like to pass along to future generations of RAAM riders? People who could be racing across America, some of them 16, some of them in their 20s, 30s, 40s. Maybe,
50s, 60s,
maybe in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
What would you like to pass along in general?
I'll tell you what I am looking for crew of riders. Somebody who tries hard, gives their best. Don't have to win, can DNF, can screw up, but tries hard. People can learn, but they got to want to learn. And that's all. It's called attitude. That's what I'm looking for in anybody, crew or rider. I mean, that's what we got. These riders, just totally impressive. Beat down, trashed, hills that are really steep, lowest gear. A couple of people had to walk a little bit going uphill, too steep for their very old age. You know, if they're 80, that means 160 years old, the pair. 160-year-old legs on one guy. It's a different way. Don't count the fingers, okay? The numbers get out of hand. Anyway, I want somebody who tries hard. That's what I would look for. And keeps trying hard, because it's a day after day after day after day. And you do look at the bottom of the chart, the page, route page, that tells you where to turn. And you look, and that number that you've completed keeps going up, and the number that you have to go keeps coming down. And we're looking at that somewhere it's halfway, and we're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to get there. Dang, it's only 57 miles away, and we've come 29, 40, or 50. Dang, we're going to make it. Don't anybody screw up now, because we're going to leave you. No, we're not. We never do that. We never do that. We did have a rider crash, and I went back chasing after him, which I was not supposed to do. Officials understood. You know, the certain part of the route at the beginning, no crew should be on that route. It's only 21 miles. But when you hear that your rider is down with an injury, I'm going. Screw the rules. Okay, and the RAAM, said the same, and phrased it that way. Okay, he said that was fine. I knew they wouldn't have any problem, because we don't know what's happened. Did he have a broken leg, broken neck? Didn't know. All we got, he's down and hurt. And I get to make the decision, and my responsibility. It's too bad. That's why I get paid the big money. You got to stand up, and not everything I do is happy for everybody. It's okay.
I know that one of the great moments of this race, for me anyway, was seeing those 16, 17-year-old kids, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids, standing there at the finish line with your team.
Yeah.
What were your feelings at that moment?
Well, I was standing back. I actually got in. I always parked the car, and by then things are already going on. And my riders had pictures taken. I'm still walking up there. I thought it was really cool that you had basically a really young generation and a really old generation with nobody in the middle. Okay, nobody under 78 on our team, and probably nobody over 18 on their team, and they had just done the same thing. They just done, and so that crosses generations. I like that. I like that. And I don't think anybody knew each other except on their own teams. They didn't know the other team people. I have no idea, but I don't think so. But there are a lot of hugs. They went through the same thing. And they sort of know how it feels, and it's always different. I don't like people to come up and say, I know how you feel. Well, you don't, because it did not happen to you. It was different. But that's what people say. I learned that a long time ago with a fatality. You don't do that. You just hug them and say, I'm sorry. Hug them and say, I'm sorry. And I know it's off subject. It's okay. I don't mind saying it. I do it. And I learned the hard way. Never mind. So, anyway.
Anything else you'd like to add before we...
Might do this next year. I have this weakness. And I love it. I've been doing it a long time. That's where people heard of me before. I also support about 20 bike rides, mostly in Northern California, 100-mile rides, 200-mile rides, a series called Brevets, clear up to 750 miles. So I see lots of people, and I do that a lot, and it's fun. If it's fun, it has to be fun. You're sure you're making a living at it. It's all outflow. It's okay. Everybody has their habits, including the four-wheel drive pickups that are designed to go off the road, and you check under the fenders. They've never been off the road. That's their thing to do, drive around. Well, this is my thing, and our thing, and your thing,
It was great.
media people.
It was great to be involved, and thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, cool. Cool. Good to have you along.
Anything else you can think of, George?
No, thanks for letting us join the group.
Yeah, it's been interesting. We never had a media person. We've had pictures and little bits and videos and so forth that people take. In fact, I got on NBC one time. They did this back in the early '80s when ABC was filming it, and they did a blip on me, and I'm standing there by the side of the road, munching, waiting for the old writer to come in so I could take his place. And I'm munching away, and I said something about calories, and I say, well, here's Mother's cookies, 95 calories each, and they taste good. I gave him a little plug, but it did. You need calories. Don't tell me about fat and all that stuff and salt. You need it. You're going to go out and do hard labor like that for hours and hours and not eat lots? As soon as you get home, you're going on a diet. Otherwise, you're going to eat the same way for a while. I'll say, yeah, I just rode across America. Yeah, because your metabolism changes. Anything else? I'm not a doctor.